Good day, everyone. Today, I will present to you my lesson exemplar. My name is Sir Andrew F. Bahana from the Rizal Experimental Station and Pilot School of Cottage Industries, Division of Pasig City. And my lesson plan is all about grade 7 science. Topic is animal and plant cell. The most essential learning competency, differentiate plant and animal cells according to the presence or absence of certain organelles. Objectives. First, it is to define cell. Second, identify the major parts of the animal and plant cell. Third, differentiate animal and plant cell in terms of organelles. Next, value the important roles of each organelle in the proper functioning of a cell as compared to the community. Illustrate the different types of cells. For the content, discuss the parts and function of the animal and plant cells. The task of students, first, they will make a KWL chart on cells. Second, watch and play on an interactive video about cells. Third, we will have a reading activity entitled Ang Siyudad ng Cell. Next is to answer a worksheet illustrating an animal and plant cell. This is a peer group activity. Then we will name and the function of organelles, okay, according to the reading activity, and then compare, okay, compare their outputs. Presentation of output will be followed of students by peer. Next is self-city activity. This is the part where they will value the important roles of each organelle in the proper functioning of a cell as compared to the community and people. For the quiz or the assessment is the concept mapping. So they will make a concept map on the topic cells. Then the extended activity is writing an essay. Why different cells may have different number of organelles. Okay. Next is the Filipino learner. Year level is grade 7. This is a face-to-face class. Ethnicity, there is no ethnic groups identified. Students are situated in the National Capital Region. Course or discipline is Science 7. The languages that will be used, Filipino 100% and English 50%. Numbers of students is 45. Gender, male 21 and female 24. Other forms of heterogeneity. No identified special needs. Average economic status of students, and students are provided tablets from the local government and free internet in the school. Misconceptions about the topic. First, students may have confusion describing an animal cell and plant cell itself. Students may have an idea that an animal cell and plant cell organelles are the same. And number 3, students may think that cells are the same in size and shape. For the pedagogies, okay, cognitive skills, count, describe, draw, identify, label, differentiate, and illustrate. Science process skills, observing parts of the plant and animal cell with a model, classifying parts of the plant and animal cell using an illustration. Future skills, self-initiative and creativity, scientific attitudes and Filipino values, curiosity, open-mindedness, creativity, freedom of scientific thought, pressure, exchanges of opinion, and information. For the language function, first is reading. They will scan the reading text to find specific information about the organelles of the cell. The second is listening. They will take notes from the lecture, listen to the lecture, remember facts and details, and follow oral instruction. Writing a sentence with a clear main point, supporting details and examples. Speaking, enunciate words clearly when giving a report or presenting, and give clear instructions on activity. or experiment. Okay, for the key language, action words, identifying general and specific ideas, and drawing conclusion from evidence. Language structure, using like and as, giving exemplification, using imperative verbs, changing active to passive voice. So the vocabulary, scientific terms, or these are the organelles or the parts of the cells that will be um, that will be remembered, okay, or will master the terms for this lesson. Dahil po yung mga scientific terms at in-include ko po siya sa ating lesson plan. Next is the teacher knowledge, technology being used by the students. Students can use Android phones, okay, and the 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 LGU tablet, okay, provided, and then for the teacher, laptop and Android phone, okay. What were your reasons for choosing the technology? It was already being used for 2 years now, and for the teacher side, it is used because for the presentation purposes, since the lesson will be illustration, so it is a must to use, okay, a visual technology or visual illustration for or application for this specific lesson. And I use PlusPoint and add in application in PowerPoint to the lesson to be more interactive and engaged. Okay, the limitations and potential problems for this is the internet connection. It may not be stable on that specific time. Okay, assessment for learnings, or formative assessment, activity sheets, concept maps, essays for the extended part, technology which will be integrated, pencil, pen and paper, gadgets, okay, technology which will be integrated in the feedback system, pen and paper. Teacher competence, what other skills and attitudes do you need in order to implement the lesson? One, language competence, okay, the use of Tagalog in lesson delivery or code switching. The second, additional programs or technology like simulations or interactive websites for the visualization of itself. Okay, so assessment of learning, how do you know students met the learning objectives? If students will be able to determine and differentiate between animal and plant cells in their illustrations and have completed the quiz or the concept map. Then technology used to facilitate the assessment, flashpoint, pen, and paper. Reading materials or tools. What materials, reading tools do you need to improve your competence and confidence in teaching the topic? I need to have a menu of specific activities for an exclusive, diverse class and learning style. Okay, for the process, I have answered this, the use of STEAM approach. Okay, S, student illustrate the plant and animal cell in the activity sheet. P, students will need to actively participate in class discussion using PlusPoint. E, student plans on how organelles will be distributed in a cell to achieve symmetry. Arts, students will need to illustrate both plant and animal cells, and for M, the proportionality of the size of organelles with each other and with the actual sizes of them in a real cell in planning for their growth. How will I integrate culture, language, gender, and context in my lesson? During the elaboration phase, okay, this will be a recitation, but the teacher will need to start it with an analogy, okay? An analogy on how the community works using local languages as well as equality among individuals. It will cite historical and recognized landmarks in Pasig City. Okay, the people working in different places in the community will also be highlighted to give emphasis on how important the roles of people in the community. Okay, how will I encourage my students to communicate what they know and want to know? Okay, and I encourage them to express themselves through oral recitation, during class discussion, during lectures, and also yung paggamit or engaging in class point as an interactive discussion using their gadget. Okay, what combination or pedagogies will I use to design the lesson? Steam, approach, and 7 E's. Okay, how will I ensure the integration? It will be personal and easy to understand, considering that it is applicable to different races, religion, ethnicity, economic status, and gender of students. Okay, how will I ensure the lesson will be integrated with contextualization and localization? Okay, so this part is the 7 E's of learning. This is the flow of the lesson. Okay, elicit. For the elicit part, the KWL chart on cells. Potential question, how are plant and animal cells different and the same? Engage, they will have to uh, interactively engage in the play, bioman bio, cell explorer, the animal cell. Okay, this is an HTML video video game, okay, online. Then essential question is what is a cell? How do a cell organelle function individually, contribute to the holistic function of the cell? For the explore part, they will read a passage or the reading activity. Then after which they will have to make a pair, okay, and to draw the animal and plant cell. Okay, essential question, what are the organelles of plant and animal cell and its function? Does plant and animal cell the same? Included din po dyan yung lecture sa explore. Next, the explain part, the students now will present their output, okay, answer the following questions. Enumerate the parts for both cells as the similarities of organelles, and what are the organelles that are not found in both cells. For the elaborate part, this is the cell-city activity recitation and valuing the important roles of organelles compared to the community. And then, dito po, ang guide question na nakatagalog, ano sa tingin mong organelle ang may halintulad mo sa ating komunidad? Sinong personalidad o tao ang nagtatrabaho dito? Anong kanilang papel sa ating komunidad? So this is, I put some places, popular places and landmarks here in Pasig that can be compared in our organ. Okay, for the evaluation part, they will make a concept map on the topic set. And for the extended part, they will make an essay on why different cells may have different number of organs. Okay, how will I integrate technology in the lesson delivery? I will integrate ClassPoint as an add-in application tool in class discussion. So it gives more engagement or interactiveness in both teacher and student. Okay, and yung book video. Summary, how will technology content and pedagogical knowledge work together in this lesson? The content of the lesson is all about differentiating animal and plant cells. The science pedagogy using STEAM and 7 E's of learning gives more structure to the delivery of the content. The use of ClassPoint, internet connection, gadgets, and other school materials or technologies play an important role in the activities of discussion. These strategies create an effective learning environment which is more fun and engaging to enhance the creativity, innovation, and stimulation of students. For the reflection part, What difficulties have you encountered? Finding a way for the lesson to be more inclusive, contextualized, localized, and indigenous. What insights have you gained? I learned that in order for students to learn the lesson, the planning should be good, that all aspects were considered. It is said that no student should be left behind, and science lessons should be more engaging and motivating because it stimulates the mind of students. And number four, how do these insights connect? This gives me a much better understanding for me in my teaching practice and what kind of students I have. And it gives me an open mind to understand people better in life. Okay, here are last parts na po ito. These are the activity sheets that I attached in the last part of my lesson exemplar. Dahil po may rubrics din kasama, city activity, and concept. Okay. That will be all for my sharing, and thank you very much for listening.